Hey friends! So back again, and this time we are talking about repotting. So I got this lovely plant. It's called a Philodendron Prince of Orange, and I have wanted this plant for so long. I was super excited when I got it. Long story short, um, I put it in this terracotta pot, and I think it was drying it out way too fast. This plant likes to stay evenly moist, so I read. And I think this probably wasn't the right choice. It was also a 4-inch pot. It came in a 4-inch pot. So it's all that I had on hand, and I don't think it was the best choice. So I'm getting ready to repot this into something a little bit bigger. This white 5-inch ceramic pot, which will retain moisture much better than this terracotta pot, which pulls moisture out of the soil. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start by trying to get this out of here. If it's dry, if you're lucky enough, you could just pull it right out of its pot, but you don't want to be too forceful on the pull because you don't want to damage the roots. But I can tell that this is pretty easy, so there we go. There we go. I'm going to break up some of this in my new pot because the soil is still pretty brand new. You want to keep some of those microbes with this plant because this is what it's used to growing in, so we don't want to, it's okay if you have brand new soil, but you can keep some of the old soil if it's still fresh or not ruined, and you can certainly reuse it. So let's do that. I'm going to tease the roots so that I can see them more clearly. Again, as I mentioned, I'm going to reuse this soil because it was brand new. We're just putting this in a bigger pot that holds moisture a little bit better. So put this down. This is how this is looking. And this is the whole thing with plant care. You can't be scared to get your hands a little dirty. Everybody knows I am a not dirty type of guy. Pretty boy, but for the plants, I'll do it. Get a little dirty. Okay. So we got that in there. Looking pretty cool. Now we're gonna dig a little hole so that we can stick these roots down in the middle. And I wish I had a cameraman so that I could have somebody point this down in here. But I have to try to convince them to take me doing these videos one day. Here, I'm just gonna grab the camera with my dirty hands. Then I'll wash my phone. So here we go, we made a hole. We're gonna stick this down in there and then cover that hole very easily. Set y'all back up. All right, so I made a hole with my finger. And it's not enough soil to fill the entire pot, but just enough to, get the plant settled. And then we're gonna add some additional soil around this. So, okay guys, so we're just filling in the gaps here. Getting very dirty. We're going to make sure that it's in there properly. When you repot, be careful with, you don't want to pile too much on top. It's always about the bottom and the sides. The bottom and the sides, but you don't want to leave any roots exposed. So, make sure it's centered to your liking. The first few times I did this, things were crooked. And this may very well be crooked too, but it looks pretty centered to me. Okay. I'm gonna put another layer of dirt on here. So I'm packing in my soil. Just want to make sure, you know, she in there nice and pretty. Hopefully it bounces back, you know. This is still a very small plant with a lot of life left in it, so I cannot wait to see, you know, how it takes. I was talking with a friend earlier about this whole plant stuff, and we were laughing, saying it's like we are like mini doctors because, you know, we are constantly experimenting. You don't know what's going to go right or what's going to go wrong. These are living organisms, so, you know, all you can do is try. You practice. You can practice, and with practice comes perfection. So, but don't get that confused, because you'll never be perfect fucking with plants. You have to accept them, flaws and all. I learned that the hard way. Okay, now that we potted her, wipe her off a little bit. Hopefully it recovers, you see that? But it's okay, guys, even I'm not perfect. But that's okay. I have trust, faith, and belief that this plant is gonna bounce back and it's gonna be thriving. I can't wait to show you guys. All right, friends, now that we potted her up, we have to water her. So I am going to got my watering can here. Just add Super Thrive to this. I'm not gonna add fertilizer because chances are there's probably fertilizer in the fresh soil that this plant was potted in, so there's no need for that. I just put just a little bit in here. Y'all can see that? Oops. I don't know. Whatever. You'll see it when I pour it. And then here we go. Probably more drops than needed, but I just want to be safe. So, because it's only a drop. Now that that's in there, we're gonna water the plant evenly. So that means all around. You don't just pour in one spot. And then you also want to kind of pour slow. And you want to pour until you see water run out the bottom of your plant. So I have a little saucer here. And when you buy a plant, try to make sure it comes with this saucer so that it can catch the water. When that saucer fills up, or drip tray fills up, you want to empty that out. Don't ever let your plant sit in water. That's how the roots will become rotten. Root rot is the name. So I'm going to keep pouring. And this is what they mean when they say evenly moist. That means the plant is moist on the bottom, the middle, and the top, and on all sides. Very important. I feel the pot starting to get heavy, even though there isn't water running out of the bottom. So I'm still going to keep pouring, but I'm going to pour a little bit lighter because you want to get familiar with the weight of your pots. You want to know what it feels like when it's thirsty, meaning it's dry, and you also want to know when it feels like when it's full, meaning it's moist, it doesn't need any water. And there's a noticeable difference. So definitely pick your plants up, see how it feels, get comfortable with it, get familiar with it. It is a living organism and it relies on you to thrive. So, as good or as bad as it looks is a representation of you, just like y'all kids. Gotta throw in a little humor. No, but yeah, take care of your plants. Okay, I hear it. Nothing yet. Okay, so the water is finally starting to come out the bottom. I'm gonna lift this up so you guys can see. See, just a little bit. We don't want this to be gushing, overflowing, because at that point you probably watered it too much. So just enough to where there's a little bit of a collection. of water. Once it finally starts to drip through, that's enough. Some people will tell you to leave it in here for about 5-10 minutes to see if the plant reabsorbs that moisture back up into its roots. Sometimes if these plants are really, really dry, they will suck any remaining water in the drip tray. But sometimes if they're full, they don't want any more, it'll just sit there, and you don't want to let it sit because it'll cause your plant to rot. So empty that out. I'm not going to let it sit because I'm a forgetful person. So once I walked away from it, I've fucking forgotten, and then the thing is going to probably rot. So I'm going to empty this right away. All right, so we're done. I'm going to put this beauty back in her spot, or actually I think I might have a new spot for it since we're in a bigger pot. And we're going to hope for the best. I'll keep you guys updated. Maybe we'll check in next week to see how she's doing. I'll let you know. The new growth that was coming in died. So that's not looking good. Here it is, looking all wilted, limp. So yeah, I felt bummed about that, and then also the way that it looks, but that's all right. I've learned from a lot of the plant influencers out there in the world. Nothing is perfect, and you do have to accept the imperfections, and you have to learn from your mistakes. So it's all about growing, literally. So I'm excited. I'm excited. And I will keep you guys updated. I can't wait for this baby to flourish. Talk to you soon.